Kevin Durant's been in outworldly form for the Brooklyn Nets, and he's the reason they're currently riding a 10-game winning streak. Some of his performances have been downright sensational, and it's not a surprise that he's keeping the Nets ticking. But can the Nets survive without him, considering he was so close to leaving the franchise? And could the Lakers make a move for him or some other big name? Let's find out. Starting with a simple question. Would the Nets survive without Kevin Durant? It's a simple question as far as we're concerned, because there's only one apparent answer. No. Especially with the kind of form KD's in, the Nets can't afford to plan for a future without the 34-year-old, who clearly has quite a bit left in the tank. The forward has been enjoying a sensational purple patch, which seems to be never-ending, considering he started the season with a great run of high-scoring games, and now he's putting in all-around performances to keep the Nets ahead of the competition. Had he connected on at least one more three-pointer against the Hawks last time out, KD could have been averaging exactly 30 points per game so far this season, and if you think about it, 29.9 isn't too far off. For someone in their mid-30s, these numbers certainly don't make any sense. We've always known the offensive prowess that KD brings to the table, but this season he's taken all that to the next level. His three-point shooting might still be only above average at best with 37%, but his field goal shooting is at 56%, and he doesn't seem to be slowing down, at least not anytime soon. KD's been carrying the Nets on his back this season, and these performances prove that he can do what he's been criticized for. He can be the main superstar and lead the team to a title, and if he carries on with this form, there's no reason why the Nets can't win the NBA.
7 seconds. Durant looks at the clock. Caldwell Pope digs in. Durant. Oh!
Moving on, the Nets can't survive without KD. His numbers prove all you need to know. Over the course of the last 2 seasons, KD's averaging almost 30 points per game and has been averaging over 7 rebounds and almost 6 assists, too. Not to mention, he's a nuisance when he decides to help out defensively, and the stats speak for themselves there as well. 1.5 blocks per game this season, along with 0.8 steals. What more could you possibly want from a 34-year-old? He's a man on a mission, and the Nets simply can't win anything without Kevin Durant. That much is for certain. He's been doing all the heavy lifting for the Nets, and he was the reason Brooklyn stayed afloat during all that early season drama which continued into the season from the offseason. More importantly, he came up regularly with the goods when Jacques Vaughn was under pressure for his new stint with the side, and he was the only reliable player when Kyrie was going through all that controversy. Basically, KD's become the ever-present player that the Nets were crying out for, and it's great. And that's the thing. They can't even imagine being without him at this point. Even though Kyrie's doing some of the grunt work now and has been in great form since his return from that controversy, the fact is, the Nets are a weaker team without KD. The stats may not indicate as much because he's been a consistent fixture in the side, but they can't possibly trade KD and challenge for the title. That much we're certain about.
Possession game. Durant against the youngster. Durant drives. Durant, it's good!
So, can they afford to let him leave? Following all the drama in the offseason surrounding Kevin Durant, it seemed that the superstar's departure was a matter of when, not if. By now, we're sure that Joe Tsai would have realized that he made the wrong call in backing coaching staff and the front office over Kevin Durant, and he certainly would have made amends in the background. But it clearly might not be enough. KD finally got his wish with Steve Nash leaving in the early part of the campaign, but would he still want to be with the Nets beyond this season? There are certainly no guarantees when it comes to superstars, and the Nets should be looking at what they can do to make him feel more at home. One of those things would be to add a potential big-name center to the roster, because even though the Nick Claxton experiment seems to be working, the Nets would need reinforcements if they are to go deep in the playoffs. Not to forget, Kyrie will also be on his way out from Brooklyn by the end of the season for sure, if not before that. And should that happen, the Nets would need to fill that gap by getting in another superstar to aid Durant. They need to realize that their best shot at winning a ring in the short term is with KD, and they can't afford to let him leave. That contract still means they hold some of the cards, but in today's player-dominated era, you never know.
5 seconds. Durant. Good night!
Now, let's look at the Lakers as a potential landing spot for Kevin Durant. What? Well, don't shoot the messenger. We only tell you what we hear on the digital grapevine, and the rumor has it, the Lakers could potentially make a move for Kevin Durant. The Lakers have a habit of taking some wild shots, at least off the court, because they're horrible from the range, and most of the time, they do connect. In their latest optimistic endeavors, Jovan Buha of The Athletic believes that in the ultimate pie-in-the-sky scenario, the Lakers retain an interest in Kevin Durant. Right. So, what do we make of that news? As far as we know, every team wants the best players on their side. It's fair to want them, but let's be honest, there's no chance, at least no realistic chance, that the Lakers get their wish as far as the Kevin Durant trade is concerned. Buha added a couple of more unrealistic names, which we'll explore next, but KD, no chance. Firstly, it doesn't make any sense from a trade point of view. What did the Lakers have to give up to make it happen? Secondly, Pelinka couldn't get a decent shooter in while having Westbrook as a trading piece. How can he possibly convince the Nets to part with KD? Thirdly, why would the Nets get rid of KD, who remains under contract for quite a few years? So, as far as this rumor is concerned, there's not much in it, and Buha, mate, you've lost some credibility.
LeBron, front court. Ooh, he had an opening on the baseline. Instead, it's AD to...
Followed by the other two unrealistic names. As we've already mentioned, Buha's report had two more names that the Lakers were showing interest in. Apart from KD, apparently, the Lakers retain an interest in Portland Trail Blazers main man Damian Lillard. Yeah, we'd go out on a limb and say that the chances of Lillard making the switch to the Lakers are somehow even less than KD's. That tells you all you need to know. Lillard's well settled with the Blazers and they're having a really decent season. Apparently, Portland's trying to get in a couple of other pieces to help Lillard contend in the playoffs. Why would they want to get rid of Lillard instead? It would also make no sense for the 32-year-old to jump ship, especially because the Lakers aren't any closer to winning a ring. More importantly, the Lakers have absolutely nothing to offer. Did they seriously think that the Trailblazers would trade Lillard for 2 first-round picks of 2027 and 2029, along with Russell Westbrook? No chance. As for the third name, any guesses? Well, it's Bradley Beal. As per Buha, the Lakers have a lot of interest in a 29-year-old guard, and while this is the most plausible of the three options, there's still very little chance that the Lakers actually complete this deal. Don't forget that Beal actually signed a huge extension this summer, and even though it doesn't have a no-trade clause, the Lakers won't be getting this one over the line either.
Over here. LeBron will bring it up. Oh, logo ball. He's got it.
Up next, some other names mentioned by Buha. As per The Athletic's Juvent Buha, there weren't only these three names. To be fair to Buha, he did say that this was in the ultimate pie-in-the-sky scenario, but he did give up some other names that the Lakers might target. He was reflecting on the same report from Shams Charania, which revealed that the Lakers had been in discussions with the Pistons about Bojan Bogdanovic, and with the Knicks about their stars Evan Fournier and Cam Reddish. Again, these are much more realistic names, but would the Lakers genuinely be better with those additions? The likeliest trade would be for Bogdanovic, and we're not sure it's worth it, especially with the Lakers well below the place they would like to be in the West. Evan Fournier and Cam Reddish would be very decent additions, but much harder deals to complete too, because what can the Lakers possibly give up for New York to even consider parting ways with those two stars? Lastly, the usual suspects. Buha's report also mentioned 6 other names that we're very much familiar with when it comes to the Lakers' interest. Apparently, the Lakers are still monitoring the DeMar DeRozan situation, along with the Miles Turner and Buddy Hield situation in Indiana. If they monitor it anymore, they might be considered stalkers because all they do is monitor. Kyrie Irving's name also popped up, and while the Lakers might think that's the one that got away, chances are even Kyrie won't move until the end of the season now that the Nets are looking really good and could potentially challenge for the championship. A possible reunion with Kyle Kuzma was also mentioned by Buha. It would clearly reflect poorly on the Lakers front office because they shouldn't have let Kuzma leave in the first place. The 27-year-old has truly come into his own this season and has been scoring 21.6 points per game while helping out in the paint in terms of rebounds too, which are up to 7.5. And as per Buha, the Lakers are also considering a move for Spurs star Doug McDermott. But the ultimate question remains, will the Lakers actually make the trades?
Break opportunity. AD is running. Bradley lob it up.
That's a wrap for this video. Do you think the Lakers can genuinely sign one of these superstars, or is it a massive reach from Rob Pelinka and the Lakers front office? Let us know in the comments below. Make sure to give this video a thumbs up and subscribe to our channel for more videos like this. See you in the next one.